Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Pacific and no, 9:30 Eastern. I keep getting this wrong. 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific p.m. Pacific Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work on projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the whole process along the way. So we are going to do one more night of the Missouri Star Quilt Co., the Triangle Tango quilt. So here is the pattern in the book, in the block book here. And I'm going to work on it one more day, and then we will move on to do some of the Splendid Sampler 2 blocks again. So we'll take a look at that as well when we're done here and maybe pick out what block we should work on next. So if you have opinions on that, let me know. Let me know later once we get the book out. But I thought I'm just getting back home last night from visiting the whole family again. And I wasn't quite ready to move on to the blocks yet. So we're going to do the Triangle Tango quilt. We've done 4 rows so far. So we are working on the rows. This is number 4. And this is like the whole row sewn together. So we are going to continue on at that tonight. So we'll do row 5. I think we were able to get about 3 rows done in an evening here. So we will try and get through row 7 tonight. I think it was 3 rows. So we'll see if we can do that. That'd be pretty awesome. So, all right, row 7 would be halfway there. I think there's 14 rows total. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to flip you around and we'll get started. It is nice seeing you guys again. It's been a little while. So I was out these past 2 weeks. I was out at the end of both weeks. So this week I will be here the entire week. So I will see you guys all week, hopefully. All right, so here are the 4 rows. I've just been kind of storing them on top of each other like this. I haven't pressed them or anything yet. We will need to press these before sewing all the rows together. But like I said, we got 14 rows to do, so I'm not too worried about that yet. I'm just going to store it stacked. Actually, I'm going to just set it to the side in front of me for now while we work. I have each set numbered, and they are in order, and they are rotated exactly how they need to be, so I can just sew the rows together. However, we were needing, this worked really well last time, but we needed a little help to keep things in order. So what we did is whenever I sew pieces together, whatever is the uppermost left piece, I'm going to put a clip on the end. And that really helped me keep things in order. And I'm not going to snip them off of the machine until it's their turn to be sewn to the next piece. So that keeps things in order as well. So that'll become apparent as we start here. But what I'm going to start out with is this first piece sewn onto the second piece. Like I said, everything should be rotated exactly how it needs to be already. So I just need to put right sides together and start sewing. And the uppermost left piece is going to be this first one. So that has the little wonder clip on there. So all right, let's get to the machine. I am still using this cool Kenmore 1938 sewing machine here. It's got that neat crinkle finish to it, and just the graphics on it are just so cool. They're just really, really fun. So, all right, I was going to pick up my other sewing machine today. It's been at the repair place. Supposedly it's ready, but I just had too many other errands to do, and it was, oh my God, you guys, it was 90 degrees here today with like 70% humidity or something crazy. And I had food in the car. I had bought some food, so I just didn't want to get out of the car again to go get the sewing machine. So I think that will happen tomorrow instead. Ooh, this looks kind of goofy. Oh no, I think we're okay still. I thought maybe the tension looked a little off, but I think we're good. Oh, that's like Atlanta right now. Yeah, it's been toasty, that's for sure. Oh yes, so this is my sew adjustable table, and it fits perfectly. So I got this table on purpose because I wanted to have an extension table, like this clear acrylic extension table, but I wanted to use it with different machines potentially. And so I looked around forever for what I thought would be something out there on the market, an adjustable sewing table for different machines, but there was really only one company that made it. I think I may have a link for it here. It's by Sewing Mates. It's the same place that does those grippets. So sewingmates.com, and it's their sew adjustable table. But yeah, it's perfectly level with it now, and it wasn't quite level before, but I put little nubbins on the bottom of this machine, which I wanted to do anyway, just like little felt feet, because it was scratching my table, the feet on the machine. So after I put those felt feet on, everything's level now, so it's perfect. All right. I'm keeping on labeling the upper left piece as I go here. Alrighty. Yeah, I couldn't decide on a new block. A new block to work on for the Splendid Sampler 2, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to spend one more day on this just to relax and not have to make big decisions. So one last day of this this triangle tango quilt. And then I want to start cranking out these Splendid Sampler 2 blocks again. I want to just do a ton of them and see if we can get far on them. All right, just I think 2 more groupings here, and then we'll be ready to start sewing these groups of 2 together. Just lining up the edges here. It's nice to see you guys again. I've been doing a lot of traveling back and forth to Wisconsin to see family, but it has been just so nice to hang out with everyone and just see everyone. But this week, I'm staying home here. All right, here we go. Okay, so there are our pairings. So now I'm going to take the piece all the way at the end, the last piece on the machine. The 2 last pieces, actually. So this is the first one on the machine. So this is going to be the most left section of our row. And you can see that our number 5 is there again. So then the next one that will be sewn onto that is the next to last one on the machine. And I know which is the upper left-hand part of that because of the clip. That is super duper helpful, that upper left-hand clip. So I'm going to put those 2 pieces together. So now this is no longer the most upper left-hand thing. Once we sew it together, it'll be this guy over here. So I'm removing that clip. So let's put these together. I'm just kind of lining up these edges here. There we go. And then we'll just keep doing that with the other ones. All right, get those ends together. Sorry, I'm missing a bit of the conversation today, you guys. All right, here are the next two. Clip in the upper left. Okay, upper left, and then flipping it together. Kind of scratch the top of these until our fabrics line up a little bit better. There we go. I gotta see Chad the kitty again, and oh man, he seemed hot in that sun outside. He was all spread out. All right, this guy and this guy. So this is our last grouping of 4. Then we'll start sewing those groups of 4 together, and we will have a finished row. I'm gonna try and cruise through some rows tonight. Oh, Arloa, I know I've missed. Well, I can't all the time. I've missed a lot. Trying to catch up with the conversation a little bit, but yep, my phone is in between my eyes and the sewing machine, so I can kind of see both at the same time. All right, I'm taking the first 2 from the machine again, and now it's that big grouping of 4. And I'll do the next one. I have not decided how I want to quilt this yet. It will be an all over, like, it won't be quilt as you go. Like, it won't be that process. It'll be the process where you do a whole entire quilt all at once, most likely. I think there was a way mentioned to quilt it in sections. I may look into that. But, so it'll either be that or it will be quilted all at once. I'm not quite sure if I'll do it. I'll try it on this machine or my normal machine that's been at the shop. I kind of like the idea of either of like just quilting in the white maybe and leaving the other ones. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm sold on that. I would like for it to be practice. Maybe it'll be a practice on an all-over look. I am not quite sure. I am totally undecided on that yet. All right. All we have left is to sew this big long piece onto our piece here. But since both are still on the machine, I'm going to start the next row right away. So hopefully this won't confuse me too much, but I'm going to get row 6 here and get the first couple pieces of that, just so I don't have to take this off the machine, so I can keep sewing. Like, I don't have to use a leader. I can just use the next piece. Oh, it was such a great time. Oh, but my goodness, was it hot and humid. It was, actually it was a bit more when I got back here to Minnesota, but it was just, oh, that muggy, hot, humid heat. and we were outside a lot, so I was feeling a bit slow on a lot of those days, but it was fun. All right, so now that I started the next row, I can now take off the last two parts of the last row. So I have our first big long piece. Here we go. And our second one, I gotta find that upper left-hand corner part. All right, and then that flips onto here. Oh, it's about a 5-hour drive, Antoinette, so it's about an hour longer than what my body wants me to be in the car for. So like right at hour 4 is when I start getting super antsy. And you know what? We had a horrible rain, like crazy red blob of a storm that we had to drive through a little bit. We actually drove, oh gosh, you know, on a 70-mile-an-hour thing, everyone was starting to drive like 30 miles an hour or less, and everyone had their hazards on, and everyone just drove until they can get to an off-ramp, and we all just sat at a gas station for a few minutes or so. It was just a blip of really blinding rain. So that was not a fun part of our drive home yesterday, but we made it. Yep, and I gotta see Chad, kitty. Chad, aka Socks, apparently, to the neighbors. He is not a Socks, he is a Chad. But anyway, he was just the cutest and nice and sweet. But yeah, he was just napping and trying to keep cool too, I think. Staying in the shade. Chad has definitely lost all his winter fur, and now he just looks like super skinny with his little top layer of fur. Yeah, it was really not fun. It was one of those drive, like, where it's raining so hard that you're lucky if you can see the 2 white lines on either side of you, and you gotta just keep paying attention to that. So that was just not fun. And a lot of people were pulled over on the road to just wait it out, but you almost don't want to do that either, because then you risk someone just kind of rear-ending you or something too. So we ended up following a semi who was going slow and had his hazards on, and managed to get, we got off at the next off-ramp, and then got to the gas station there, and it was just packed. So everyone was doing the same thing. And we really only had like maybe a half hour or so to go yet, so it was just like, ugh. And it was late and dark. It was just unpleasant, that's for sure. But we made it. Yes, definitely too dangerous to drive in, but man, it just popped up. There was lightning in every direction, but on the map it looked like it was just going to stay above and below us, but I think we just got a little hair of it. Oh, your kitty that turned up, your hubs called him Socks. Oh, funny. Yeah, exactly. Don't care if you're crawling, but you want to be safe. And that was the thing, though, because we started going so slow behind another car. We're like, let's just stay behind a vehicle, because then, we can at least see with their taillights. But then they were going so slow that we thought, well, someone's going to just come up on us fast and hit us. So
we got around him and stuck with that semi until we could get off of the highway. Then it stopped like 5 minutes later. Ow! Mom said she saw Becky too. All right, so there is another cat in the works. So we have seen another cat around, and just barely. We saw it peeking over some stones, and that was it. So I've seen this cat's head from afar. And it has been named Becky. So there's a Becky somewhere hanging out as well. So now we have Chad and potentially Becky, if we can find her. So apparently there was another sighting. Funny. I've decided that is an amazing cat name. All right, I am done sewing those doubles. All right. And, okay, so I'm taking that first one off. So that one's ready to go. That's the first row of number 6. Yep, Chad is fixed, and it was actually at a different location, but a cat that we've seen before. Yep. I don't know. It might not even be a girl, but we just decided that it was Becky. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe sometime there'll be a Chad and Becky. We'll see. All right, so this is that row 5 I just snipped off. So row 5 is totally complete now. I'm just going to fold it up. So let's just get these ends together. So I'm just folding it up to just put it on hold till we're ready to sew rows together. That's funny. I didn't know if we'd ever see Becky again. All right. Oops, sorry, I hit the cord there. All right, so that's how I'm storing it. I think Chad was a stray, and I think my parents brought him to the vet, and I think he was already neutered. So someone else had caught him at some point. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I think that's what they said. So he must have been like neutered and released. Oh, you have a brush-tailed possum that comes and eats dinner with Tommy the cat. Well, I think there may be a raccoon that eats Chad's food every once in a while too, but I'm thinking they probably don't eat together. All right, next ends. The trick is just that you're sewing in order so that you have to then take them off in order to keep your rows, all your blocks staying in the right position. So I'm making sure I'm doing that. I'm only cutting off the last one from the row and no more. Because I don't have all these separate things numbered. So I have to just make sure that I take them off of the machine in order. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, Gretchen. Yeah, that can be dangerous. Deer and cars are not good friends. All right, we're cranking through this second row as well here. So I don't know. I think we'll at least get these 3 done. Barbara, I don't have any contenders for the Splendid Sampler 2 block. So I want to see what you guys want to do for that. So I think what we'll do is tonight I'll sew through, I'll do 1 more row tonight. So we'll get these 3 rows done that I wanted to get done tonight. And then we'll get the Splendid Sampler 2 book out and start looking through that. If there is one that you wanted, let me know, and probably let me know once we have the book out, because I'll probably forget if I don't have it in front of me. But we'll pick one, and I'm kind of open to anything at this point. You know, every once in a while, like I'll be set, like, oh, I just want to get all the paper piecing ones done or something. But I really am kind of undecided. I don't really, it doesn't really matter to me which style, like applique versus just piecing, or foundation paper piecing, or English paper piecing, whatever it is. I'm not set on any one thing. I'm more set on, let's start cranking these guys out again. So I'm ready. I'm raring to go on the Splendid Sampler 2, but without any direction. So we'll take a look at it. Like I said, we'll do 1 more row here, which we're going to start after this piece here. And then we'll take a look. There is half of the book at least to do yet, so there are plenty of things to choose from. And I know I have a lot of blocks ready to go for the quilt as you go process, so we could actually spend some time quilting, but I'm feeling more set on getting a pile more blocks done first. So in my head, let's make a pile more blocks in the next couple weeks, and then start quilting them again, and we'll just spend a whole pile of time quilting for a little bit. All right, we're starting row 7. And then, you know, and we'll pepper in, you know, I'm still gung-ho on this triangle tango quilt and some other projects and stuff too. So we'll pepper in some other things in between the Splendid Sampler 2, but right now I'm itching to get more on that. I know, Bonnie, it's just so amazing. I cannot believe you guys have finished it. That is amazing. And yeah, I need to jump back in there. I've been kind of having these past few weeks, I've been pretty offline. Spending time with the fam and stuff, which has been nice. But yeah, I will for sure be checking in on all that again. See what everyone's up to. That is amazing. You have all those blocks done. The whole quilt done even. My mom has hers done as well. All right, so I have just that last section to sew onto row number 6 here. Oh, come back here. There we go. And then row 6 will be done. I just gotta sew 1 more thing to get it off the machine, and then we're good. Oh, actually, I'll sew the rest of my pairings for row 7 before taking this off the machine. All right. Yeah, and I don't do that very often, Nolene. Have an offline week. So that felt good. There we go. Oh, what is my mom working on now? I think she might be doing another triangle tango quilt. So she had done, I don't know if you guys saw, I posted it in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, but she instead of a white background, she did like red, a variety of like red and tan plaids. And then for the triangles, she did like a variety of creams, and it turned out so cool. I think she did her size of her squares a little bit smaller, so it would work better with, you know, the fat quarters that she happened to have. So I think she ended up with like 9-inch square, or like 7-inch squares instead of like 8-inch squares or whatever we're ending up with here. But she has enough of the cream and a bunch of blue plaids that I think she's going to start a, at least prepping all the pieces for a blue plaid and cream version. So she'll have a red and cream version and then a blue and cream version. So I think they'll be just like a really cute pair of quilts. So I'm really excited because I do think, you know, I'm doing this white background, which I think is going to look really cool. I haven't really done a neat white background quilt like this before, except for my Splendid Sampler too. I'm kind of doing it there too. So obviously I have it on the brain, like these white background quilts, but hers with that plaid, the different color plaids in the background, I mean, I think it turned out so cool. And just so different too. All right, we are getting there with these pairings. I'm just grabbing two and then putting that clip in the upper left of the top one. Getting these edges together. Ready? So this one and one more pairing and then we're done. Oh, you're not a white fabric? Yeah, Jennifer, check out, it would have been from a photo from last week when I visited them again. So I was there last weekend, and then I came home here for a few days, and then I was there again this past week. So 2 weeks ago, and then this past week. So I think you can just do a search for posts that I do, so it would probably be on there. But yeah, it's you know, unless you know what you're looking for, it looks like a completely different quilt, really. I really like it, though. I think it turned out so cool. All right. Last pairing for row 7. I think my brother, who is home, is starting an improv pieced quilt. So I'm excited to see how that goes. So I kind of showed him how to do that a little bit. All right, here's the first piece from row 7. And then we have row 6 hanging out here yet. So I will fold up row 6 here. It's kind of unruly when it's these big long pieces yet. But yeah, so it's gonna be a bear pressing these rows and sewing these rows together, but I think it'll be fun. Oh, you picked up fabric for the Granny Square quilt. That's awesome. So I'm gonna do some planning for that quilt and some other projects that I want to do here coming up. And like I said, I want to pepper in some embroidery. You know, we'll just stitch up some of the kits. I know some people mentioned wanting to do that, and that would be, those are really great projects to just kind of pepper in while we're doing some of these other things, some of these big projects. And for me, I need teeny tiny projects while I'm working on these big things, because these quilt projects can be pretty daunting. Like, it took me a long time to even get into quilting just because the projects just seem too big, like just too scary, and they still kind of seem that way. Embroidery pepper, nice. Yep, we're gonna do some embroidery peppering. But yeah, they like all these quilts that we're working on. If I think about them too much, I get overwhelmed. So if I just know, oh, we're working on it another hour in the evening here, eventually it gets further and further. So I just kind of, I'm trusting these hours we have together here to get everything done. All right, next 2 pieces. Yeah, and when we get closer to all these projects, I will definitely leave enough time for everyone to, you know, get kits and get patterns and get fabric and, you know, all that before we get started with projects. I'd like to get more deliberate with them again. You know, but you never know when something pops up. Like this Triangle Tango quilt was an unplanned project from an unplanned trip to Missouri Star Quilt Co. So, I mean, life fast happens still. gotta let those projects in sometimes. All right, we're getting there. Okay, this will be the last pairing together, and then we'll have our sets of 4. And then this row's done. Okay, these go together. Ooh, this one I sewed kind of funny. It's not being together very well. All right, holding the ends of these guys so they end up in the same spot. You know, by the time I'm done with sewing this quilt top together, I might not want to bother doing any super fancy quilting. I might want to just practice an all-over pattern, potentially, and just get it done. We'll see. All right, flip this around. All right, and since I'm not starting another row tonight, I am going to need a leader again to finish this part. So once I get this row lined up, its edges lined up. All right, let's get that leader in here. All right, snip that off, and we'll add this guy on the end. Oh, you like the brown in the granny square quilt, but you got sick of a brown quilt, or you wished you changed a different brown quilt? I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So like for that one, in my head, the idea of a white background for that just sounds really cool too, because in my head that's like what a crocheted granny quilt is kind of like. It's got the white with the colorful stuff, but I don't know, I'm probably not gonna do that again since I'm doing all these quilts with the white background. I might just see, you know, I'm trying to use up fabric that I have, so I might just see what type of solid color I have and try and try and challenge myself to make a quilt based on that color. I mean, I think that might be kind of fun. All right, this is it, and I need another leader. Get one started. I think we have a new plaid going on here too, this blue. All right, we'll snip that, and then that is our row 7. Ooh, it's long. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna fold that up as well. And we have a good little stack of rows happening here. Actually, this is the halfway point for the rows. So let's see, it took us, we did about 3 rows a night. I could probably fit one more row in if we wanted to. So let's just call it 3 rows though, because every time we've tried it, we've only done like 3 rows a night. So conservatively, I can do 3 of these rows a night, and we have 7 more to do. Oh, I could probably fit a 4. So this might just be a 2-night thing to finish all the rows, which is really tempting me to continue this project. But we're going to switch back to this Splendid Sampler. We'll leave those couple days of rows for another time here. But all right, I'll show you my stack here, and then we'll take a look at the Splendid Sampler too. So here we are. I'm going to put 7 on there, and that looks so cute. Fun fabrics. This is our first 7 rows. And again, I got my Missouri Star quilt bag here, my other blocks, and actually all my extra fabric and what I'm going to use in the background fabric is all in this bag. So this contains like my whole project. I'm keeping it all together. So I remember, I remember what I wanted for the back of the fabric or the back of the quilt, and I'm going to do this for the binding as well. So it's all together, and I'm going to just set those 7 rows on top there. It's easy enough for me to take out when I want to sew again. And I'll throw that on top of it as well, the pattern. All right, let's get the Splendid Sampler quilt out again. So let me know, you guys, if there was anything in here that you wanted to work on for sure. So I need to mark off, I have this little list of what I finished. I have not updated this in a long time, so I might go through before tomorrow and mark off the other ones that I've done. But if there is any that you know offhand that you'd like me to work on next, spit it out. We'll just take a look at what I haven't done here. Just, in my head, I'm let's just work from the back forward. But if you guys have something, okay, so Happy Willow, let's look up that one. So Happy Willow is page 112. I think I just saw that one and was thinking about it too. Oh gosh, that one's sweet. So Happy Willow, I'm gonna mark some of these ones that we're saying here. I'm gonna mark them with all my old leaders. How about that? So Happy Willow, and then there's the octopus one. Someone mentioned, what page is that on? 83. Okay, so there's a few people that want to do the Happy Willow. Okay, so that's a good sign. I know the octopus was asked about a few times. It might be just a good idea to tackle that guy soon too. Paper piecing would be pretty fun. Oh, is this even paper piecing? Huh, this is just, oh yeah, it is a little bit of paper piecing. Okay. Oh, you have this one ready to go? Okay, and then the octopus is page 83. Well, those might be 2 good places to start. Should we start Happy Willow tomorrow? And then, just looking at this, I mean, I don't know for sure, but looking at this, I think we can get real close to finished this week 4 days maybe. Maybe finish it next week. This might be slightly more than 4 days, but we might be just right on it. Gosh, this red one is awfully pretty. So, all right, we'll do this one first, Happy Willow, and then we'll jump to Octopus after that. So we got two cool techniques. We have a bit of foundation paper piecing, it looks like. Is this whole thing foundation paper piecing? I am not sure. I haven't looked at it. Just a quick glance at the instructions, and it looks like maybe it's some normal piecing too. I'm gonna just peek real quick. And then the octopus is all applique. So another technique. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, so it is only a tiny little bit that's paper pieced. That's what it kind of looked like to me. So all right, so it's just these two little itty bitty pieces that are this. It looks like it's the top of the willow. So I'm gonna have to keep this out so I can make a copy. Yeah, so something to prepare for this block tomorrow. You'll want to make. I always like having two on hand, but you'll want to make a photocopy of that page from here. And I probably don't need two. I'm going to make one photocopy, and it looks like it's maybe these pieces, like this little chunk here. So this little bit, or not even that, this little bit here is paper pieced. Those tiny angles. So we'll need to do that. So great. Then the rest is just normal piece. That'll be kind of interesting. We'll see how we do. And I think I'm gonna still use my this crinkle sewing machine, the 1930s, 1938 sewing machine here. So we have not done a splendid sampler block on this yet, so that'll be fun. Oh man, and this one looks like I really need to stay sharp on my scant 1/4 inch because there's like a lot that looks like it needs to match up. So that'll be a challenge. Yeah, and then after that we will jump over to the octopus. It looks like they did raw edge applique, and you know what? That might be just the way to go. Maybe I'll do some raw edge applique, and it looks like there's some fun extra little stitching on here. That could be fun. Wow, that's a lot of colors that I don't have, so this is going to be a challenge just to pick my colors because I have all those very light colors, and this has a lot of contrast of color going on, so that'll be interesting. So good, we will do those two and work our way from there. Oh yes, so you will need, for this one, you'll most likely, if you're doing it the raw edge applique, which is what I'll be doing it, you're going to need some fusible, and that's that paper-backed double-sided fusible. I will probably be using my Steam-A-Seam 2. I'll probably be using this. If you use the Steam-A-Seam 2, don't assume you'll be doing any hand stitching at all because this is really difficult to stitch through. I believe there's a Steam-A-Seam 2 Lite. So if you were planning on embroidering details like, I don't know, eyes or something else on here, go for that Steam-A-Seam 2 Lite. But I don't think I'm going to do any of that. I'm going to do it all with the machine. Ooh, that might be fun on this new machine, or this crinkle machine too, because it looks like, you know, almost some free motion quilting type stitching on top of here, and I have not done that at all with this machine. I am getting my other machine back, so if it fails, I can switch back to the old machine for that. So all right, we are set up. Those are our next two. Tomorrow we start Happy Willow. After that's done, we do Octopus, and if there's a different one you wanted to do after those two are done, keep that in mind because I would like to crank out some of these blocks over the next couple weeks. So, all right, you guys, I think that's a plan. I am going to flip you around and we'll call it an evening here. All right, I am really happy with those two blocks. Those were great suggestions. I think they're both just adorable and cute, and we get to play with some fun techniques, especially that willow is a combination of techniques. It's got that a little bit of foundation paper piecing, but then some other just normal piecing on the sewing machine. So I like that idea of combining that together. So awesome, you guys. Thank you again for joining me, and thanks for sticking with me when I leave for a few days. I appreciate that a ton. It looks like my recording is working tonight, so I will get this up on YouTube tonight. I know that hasn't been working very well lately, but this one will get up there. So if you do prefer YouTube, we'll get them up there on there again. And that's at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube. So thank you, you guys. Nice seeing you again, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.